Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of February 21st, 2025. I'm your host, Sherefa Mohammed M.G.T.
I'm Colonel A.C. Ogontoya, an infantry officer. Extensive air and missile strikes. The Russian armed forces conducted 11 group strikes using long-range precision weapons from air, sea, and land platforms, along with unmanned aerial vehicles. These strikes targeted critical Ukrainian infrastructure, including gas and energy facilities, ports, electrical substations, and military-industrial complex components. Additional targets included missile and artillery depots, military airfield infrastructure, and assembly and storage sites for unmanned aerial vehicles.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, your trusted source for the latest developments on security and defense operations involving military forces. I'm your host, and today we have an exclusive interview with Colonel A.C. Ogontoya, who will provide insights into the progress of the special military operation as of February 21st, 2025. Colonel Ogontoya, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'll be providing a full operational overview from the past week, including key developments across all fronts.
Let's start with strategic strikes. There have been multiple reports of targeted attacks over the past week. Can you walk us through what was hit and what the objectives were?
Over the past week, the armed forces of the Russian Federation executed 11 large-scale precision strikes using long-range air, land, and sea-based weapons, along with strike drones. These strikes specifically targeted critical Ukrainian infrastructure, including gas and energy facilities, port infrastructure, and electrical substations that support Ukraine's military-industrial complex. Additionally, we struck missile and artillery depots, military airfields, assembly and storage sites for attack drones, and temporary deployment points for Ukrainian armed units and foreign mercenaries. The objective was to degrade their ability to sustain operations, and all designated targets were successfully hit.
Beyond air and missile strikes, what major developments have taken place on the ground, particularly in the Kursk region?
In the Kursk region, our North Group of forces maintained offensive operations throughout the week, leading to the liberation of the settlement of Sverdlikovo. Airstrikes, drone operations, and artillery fire inflicted substantial damage on Ukrainian formations, including 2 tank brigades, a heavy mechanized brigade, 5 mechanized brigades, 3 airborne assault brigades, and multiple assault regiments. In the Kharkiv direction, our forces also defeated Ukrainian motorized infantry and territorial defense brigades. The total Ukrainian losses in our area of responsibility exceeded 2,255 servicemen, along with the destruction of 11 tanks, 137 armored combat vehicles, and multiple artillery units and supply depots.
That's a significant advance. What about the West Group of forces?
The West Group of forces successfully liberated the settlements of Figalovka in the Kharkiv region and Yampolivka in the Donetsk People's Republic. During the engagements, we struck tank, mechanized, ranger, mountain assault, and assault brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces, along with territorial defense units. The Ukrainian side suffered over 1,315 personnel losses, and we neutralized 15 combat armored vehicles, including 8 U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carriers. Additional assets destroyed included 39 vehicles, 36 field artillery pieces, 10 electronic warfare stations, and 11 ammunition depots.
What progress has been made by the Southern Group of forces?
Our Southern Group of forces made significant tactical advancements, defeating Ukrainian mechanized, infantry, mountain assault, airmobile, and territorial defense brigades. Over the past week, Ukrainian forces in this area lost up to 1,365 personnel. We also eliminated 12 combat armored vehicles, including 2 American M113 armored personnel carriers, 18 automobiles, and 19 artillery guns, 5 of which were of Western origin. We further destroyed 4 electronic warfare stations and 7 ammunition depots, limiting their ability to sustain operations in this sector.
The center group of forces appears to have played a crucial role in pushing forward. What are the latest updates?
The center group of forces continued its advance into Ukrainian defenses, successfully liberating the settlements of Berezovka and Nadezhdinka in the Donetsk People's Republic. We inflicted heavy losses on Ukrainian formations, including 5 mechanized, 2 Ranger, Airmobile, 2 motorized infantry, and assault brigades, as well as 2 National Guard brigades. The Ukrainian losses in this sector totaled over 2,740 servicemen, and we destroyed 12 tanks, including a German-made Leopard tank, along with 28 combat armored vehicles, 6 of which were U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carriers. Our forces also neutralized 42 vehicles and 40 field artillery pieces, including 3 Western-manufactured ones.
The East Group of Forces has also been active. What advances have they made?
The East Group of Forces pushed deeper into enemy defenses, leading to the liberation of Novosyolka and Novo-Chertovatoy in the Donetsk People's Republic. We engaged and defeated Ukrainian formations, including a tank brigade, 4 mechanized brigades, an airborne assault brigade, a marine brigade, and 2 territorial defense brigades. The enemy suffered over 1,100 personnel losses, and we neutralized 6 tanks, including 2 German-made Leopard tanks, along with 13 armored combat vehicles, 23 automobiles, and 29 artillery pieces, 3 of which were NATO-made. 2 ammunition depots were also destroyed, further limiting their operational capability.
What actions have the Dnieper Group of Forces taken over the past week?
The Dnieper Group of Forces engaged Ukrainian mechanized, mountain assault, and coastal defense brigades, as well as 2 territorial defense brigades. The Ukrainian armed forces suffered over 460 personnel losses in this sector. We also neutralized 43 vehicles, 7 field artillery guns, and destroyed 10 electronic and counter-battery warfare stations, along with 4 ammunition depots. These actions have further restricted their ability to maneuver and sustain operations.
Air defense has played a key role in this conflict. What are the latest air defense achievements?
Our air defense systems have been highly effective over the past week. We successfully shot down 2 Ukrainian MiG-29 aircraft, 2 JDAM guided bombs, 36 HIMARS multiple launch rockets supplied by the United States, 17 French-made Hammer guided bombs, a Uragan multiple launch rocket, and a Neptune anti-ship missile that had been repurposed for ground targets. Additionally, we intercepted and neutralized 790 enemy unmanned aerial vehicles.
Let's circle back to the Kursk region, where fighting has intensified. What's the situation there?
Our forces in the Kursk region have been repelling Ukrainian incursions and conducting offensive operations. Over the past week, we inflicted heavy losses on Ukrainian forces in multiple settlements, repelled 2 counterattacks, and destroyed a variety of military assets. Ukrainian forces lost more than 250 servicemen in the past 24 hours alone, along with armored personnel carriers, combat vehicles, self-propelled anti-aircraft guns, multiple launch rocket system vehicles, and UAV control points. The total losses for Ukrainian forces in the Kursk direction now exceed 62,450 personnel, along with a vast array of military hardware.
Given the scale of operations over the past week, what are the next steps for Russian forces?
The operation remains ongoing, with continued efforts to neutralize Ukrainian military formations, secure key strategic positions, and further weaken their operational capacity. Our forces remain committed to achieving our objectives and will continue to apply pressure across all fronts.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you. I want to emphasize that our operations are systematic and strategic. In the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, the advance of NATO-backed rebels, particularly the M23 group, has raised concerns about escalating regional conflict, with the African Union voicing worries over their strategic movements as they capture cities in the area. They are imposing the rule of the gun. The violence has led to a severe humanitarian crisis, with thousands of refugees fleeing to Burundi, further worsening the existing humanitarian situation there.